Happy Valentine's Day!
Thank you, candy hearts!
I know you'd like them.
My love. Aww. Do the dishes. Hello, my children. Your father has brought you a swatching video. With love.
And magnets.
Yeah, you don't care for magnets.
I love magnets.
Not the way that I care for magnets.
It gives me my pop socket. If there weren't magnets, I wouldn't have a fidget.
If there weren't magnets, there'd be a lot of problems.
What is one problem that would exist without magnets?
Electricity.
What do we need electricity for? This?
Holo Taco just released,
Recently?
Yeah,
But
this video is late. I mean, to the people watching this in the future, every video is late. To the people watching this in the past, how did you do that? Holo Taco recently released their Magnetic Attraction collection featuring 5 magnetic polishes and a new chunky glitter heart topper. Additionally, they released their version of a 30-pound horseshoe magnet called the Super Magnet, which is currently sold out as of recording this, but more on that later. Now, this is Holo Taco's take on a Valentine's collection, but also a magnetic collection, which is really just both not for me. So full disclosure, this review is not going to be my most positive because I don't really care for magnetic polishes because I'm usually really lazy, and a Sweetheart Valentine's color palette is something that I never turn towards. Regardless, today I'm going to be swatching the new collection and comparing them to things in my collection. Why? Am I starting a kung fu battle?
are you at a dojo? Mojo Jojo's dojo?
Enough of this sweet talking, let's get into the swatches.
Oh, that was good.
I know.
You're welcome. I'm glad that I wrote that.
You didn't write that. You said, but enough yapping. I don't need you. That's not true. I absolutely need you.
I'll leave.
And the Valentine's video?
Goodbye.
That's a message. First up, we have Flirt Alert.
Can you maybe not say it like that?
What?
Flirt Alert.
I am making sure the first T is heard.
You could do the enunciation on the second T if
Okay.
you really want to.
Okay. First up, we have Flirt Alert. Flirt Alert.
Flirt Alert.
So I just have to say it in one breath?
Flirt Alert.
Flirt Alert.
It sounds like a Pokemon.
Flirt Alert.
Flirt Alert the turtle. It's a water turtle that's not Squirtle.
Flirt Alert. Flirt Alert. I disagree. I don't think it's a turtle. I think it's a dove, but it's like Bombardier and it drops like little hearts that explode.
If I ate candy hearts, I'd probably explode.
We'll find out.
I'm not eating any of those.
Oh, I want one. I want to see what happens to my GI tract after I consume one. Probably bad things.
One? No.
But I
if
won't
you-
eat just one.
One bag.
I'm not going to eat the whole bag.
Well, you shouldn't eat the bag. The bag is made out of plastic.
We have... First up, we have Flirt Alert. This is described as a raspberry pink with a light pink magnetic pole and scattered hollow. So shocker, I don't care for it. For all of these polishes, I painted them to full opacity first before I applied a magnet. And for Flirt Alert, this had really good coverage on that first coat.
First coat.
Did I do that wrong?
No, I'm just saying, if you're going to pronounce your T's, pronounce all of them.
To them, TH would be the, what was the name of that symbol? You know what I'm talking about. How TH used to be its own letter? The thorn.
Thorn? Is the thorn what, like, why ye old is actually the old?
Yes, because there wasn't the letter. I think that's the history of that. Someone fact check me on that. Actually don't. I'll just find the actual answer and then not include this segment. As for the color, it has this very pinky berry color that has this really bright pink shimmer, which I was assuming was the magnetic pigment. I was really impressed by the coverage as I was ready to magnetize this after the first coat. It was a touch thin on the sides, but it got taken care of when I used the magnet. But before that, I think I can clearly see the touch of hollow and this really nice red sparkle in a very metallic, shiny overall look. I did also take all of these swatches into indirect lighting just to show how they compare, and this one was less shiny and you can clearly see a bubble that I got when painting it. And I know that this collection came out with a horseshoe magnet, but I'm gonna paint these all with a regular bar magnet just so you can clearly see the differences between the base color and the magnetic pigment. For this one, the base color got much deeper, and the stripe is very pink, but it almost looks like a silver pink.
Slink, one might say.
That's also a Pokemon.
What's Slink?
It's a snake that slides into your DMs.
Oh, poison type.
Hey baby. Now I think these look like those molten sugary candy videos, like those ones where you put them on to try to fall asleep and they're just like scrape, 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 and then like pushing on the taffy. I want to try a candy ribbon. The ones that have chocolate in it, because that's weird. and I want to try that.
I guess we need to find a candy shop.
Ye old
candy shop.
With an extra E at the end.
An extra P in the middle of shop.
Is that the next Pokemon?
Probably. It's a chef. It's a fighting chef.
Shop?
Shop.
Oh, chop.
Shop. Shop.
Oh.
The ups truck.
This ups truck and this car are fighting in our...
That ups truck up. Was there an accident that just happened?
Okay, where was I? Oh, hard candy.
You talked about candy.
Okay, this looks like hard candy. I just wish I liked the color. Oh, and also, sorry, the bubble's still there. As for comparisons, I weirdly had 3 other similar pinky polishes that were also magnetic in my collection. I don't think I bought any of them.
The first one.
Oh, Love Spell. Yeah, but the only reason why I bought that one is because I wanted the rest of them.
Yeah.
And it came in a box at the time.
Yeah.
Before magnetization, I think Cirque's Solstice is probably the closest, except it's slightly more of a dusty pink, if that dusty pink was still in this hot pink variety. I did also attempt to magnetize these Swatch sticks by first applying Tyler's Trinkets Magnetic Elixir and then holding a bar magnet up to it.
I noticed that you like had the magnet underneath.
I tried that first.
And it didn't do anything.
Nope, not at all.
And then you didn't do that in the next one.
Because it didn't work.
Because it didn't work. But also in the second one.
I was very wildly inconsistent with filming this. Sorry. Anyways, when magnetized, I think that Flirt Alert looks a little bit more cherry red and got a little bit deeper and does stand apart from the others in my collection. When the magnet is applied, the magnetic pigment looks most similar to Solstice, but the base color does look different from everything else in the collection. Wow, he looks like such a lump today.
Lump lump.
Hi, Lump Lump. Hello, Lump Lump.
He's a Flirt Alert.
He's allergic to my love.
Flirt allergic.
So overall, I obviously don't care for the color, but I think the polish is actually pretty good quality. It had really good coverage, getting to full opacity for the most part in one coat, magnetized really well with the second coat, and the base just has this like jelly, almost squishy look to it that makes it have that candy look that I was talking about. I think that this one is the most on theme for Valentine's Day. No, I disagree. I think that it's a 3-way tie for the on theme ones. You want to guess the 3 that I don't like? Those. So for me, strictly because of color preference, performed really well. I think I'm gonna give this 3 love letters that you have to get for your class in 5th grade. You know how you have to get one for everyone? Out of 5. Oh, no, Valentine's.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't give a love letter to everyone in your 5th grade class.
Yeah, that's
But a
weird.
Valentine, sure.
One sec, I want to show you something. I don't care for Valentine's, but the singular time that I've made my husband a Valentine's card, I need to show it to y'all because it's amazing. It says, Titan will always be my #1. And moving on, we have Pretty Privilege. Am I over enunciating again?
Absolutely.
And moving on, we have Pretty Privilege.
That was wonderful.
This is described as a baby pink with an icy pink magnetic pull and scattered holo. Now on the first coat, it really seemed way thinner than the previous one, and it definitely needed a second coat before I used the magnet. I did also note that it looked a touch flesh nail on me in that first coat.
Give it to Linry.
Oh, Linry, would you like my flesh nail? Ooh, imagine that nail art where you literally just try to make it look like flesh. With the second coat, however, the fleshy effect was diminished slightly. And now it's this very pretty, light, icy pink that I swear I've seen before. I will say I like how shiny it is, as it almost already looks like it's in the velvet style of magnetization. And in indirect lighting, it really looks like a non-holo version of Toe Beans, which is a steely pink polish by Holo Taco. With the magnet applied, the silver pigment is pulled inwards and the base color got to a deeper pink. And now you can also see the holo base a lot better. I'm glad that the holo is there as well, because if it wasn't, this would kind of be a pretty basic polish that I swear I've seen before. I did want to add that while I was painting these, I did notice that the magnetic stripe on this polish spread out a little bit more than I was expecting between the paint top coat and then take the magnet off for the finger wiggle. As for comparisons, I have a few other similar looking mauvey pink, light pink polishes. And for some reason, I also decided to try applying the magnet right after painting this time to minimal to no success. So let's ignore that. I think the closest in this lineup is probably Cirque's Bay, as it's also a similar light pink with a silver magnetic stripe. Does it also have holo in it? There's sparkle in there. I don't know what it is. Oh, but it's missing the holo. I did also grab Blush Money only because it reminded me of it in spirit, but the moment they're next to each other, it looks nothing similar. Oh, and it was also hilarious because while I was putting this swatch stick away, I dropped it. It landed on the floor with the polish side down, so there is some nail polish on the floor, and I caught some Titan hairs, or beard hair, not sure what it was.
And if you're our landlord,
You didn't see this video. So overall, I don't really care for this one, but once again, this is strictly personal preference. I think it performed pretty well as a magnetic polish. It did take 2 coats to get to full opacity, but still was able to magnetize pretty good. I think one of my problems with this collection, but specifically this polish, is it's not very innovative. Innovative. You happy?
yeah, thank you for saying it both ways.
Okay. I know this was the Valentine's collection, but this one especially just kind of felt really expected. So I'm not wowed by it at all. And I know I'm biased because I don't care for the colors. So once again, I think formula-wise, it works really well. Theme-wise, it's here to do what it's supposed to do and be Valentine's, but it's just not for me. So I think this is going to get 2.5 discount candy boxes on February 15th out of 5. And moving on, we have Polar Opposites. Yes, you're on camera. Say hi to YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Did the baby come out? So I'm gonna go tomorrow after school, assuming
Yeah,
Josie
we're-
decides to leave.
I figure she's gonna be exhausted after going through this all day.
I would assume, but she sent me a selfie like, and I'm like, girl, you're literally giving birth. Okay, goodbye.
Bye. So does make it in.
Well, we'll see if this makes the cut. Quick update. After being in labor for like 24 hours, my cousin gave birth to a healthy baby girl, and I'm officially a gunkle. They're home now, and everything is going great. Anyways, back to this video. This is an icy aqua blue with a pale blue silver magnetic pull and an aqua green shimmer underglow. So we have our first polish in this collection that references magnets, so I like it. I'm a big fan of Faraday's Law, if you haven't known.
You give a lot of flux.
Flux Noir London. Now this one actually performed similarly to the previous polish, as it was also thin on the first coat, but it had maybe ever so slightly better coverage. We're also going to ignore the staining of the blue dots on my nails. I last wore Immortal Desire from Prism Parade's Bloodlust collection on that hand, and it didn't have blue on it, so I don't know what the dots are, but there's blue dots now. I don't know. Anyways, it got covered by the polish, so good enough coverage to hide the blue dots. With the second coat, it's this very icy, shiny, reflective blue that has an ever so slightly subtle aqua shimmer to it and a touch of holo. I really liked how shiny this was unmagnetized, and it once again already looks like it's in the velvet style of magnetization. Now in the bottle there's a very clear green shimmer, but I don't see it on the nail when it's unmagnetized. I did also take this into indirect lighting, and it's just a really super pretty metallic aqua, but once again I can't see the shimmer yet. When the magnet is applied, the silver pigment is pulled inwards and the base gets deeper, and we can finally see a touch of that green shimmer. From the camera, you don't get to see as much of the glowy green aspect of it, but it definitely has that glowing from within aspect that I think the Underglow collection was really trying to do. So the polish does pull a little bit more green into a very, very light teal, maybe aqua, like the color description states, which I do actually like a lot more, but I do think it pulls it slightly out of a Valentine's direction, which I'm not mad at because I don't care for Valentine's Day. As for comparisons, I put it next to other similar blue polishes from my collection. I first put it next to Happily Ever Aqua because that is an aqua linear holo, and it shows that this is a lot more of a cool blue, like a wintry blue instead of a summery blue.
Icy spicy? For you, I'm too pricey.
Going for the gold. I'm gonna get a little feisty.
feisty.
As for the magnetic polishes in my lineup, I think the closest is Tyler's Trinkets Mirror Mirror on my phone, as it's also a blue shimmery polish with a silver magnetic stripe. However, it is a slightly different color of blue and is missing that green underglow shimmer.
So what do you think?
I like it. So this is one of the ones that I actually do like because it not only is outside of the Sweetheart Valentine's color palette, it also has some extra interest because it's the combination of the underglow and the magnetic pigment that is just interesting. I specifically like how green this pulls sometimes, and so it's kind of one of those polishes that are just different colors depending on how you look at it. Just keeping it interesting on the nail at all times. The only downside of this polish is this kind of suffers from the curse of Holo Taco always has to release a blue, and this is kind of that blue that I've seen several times from Holo Taco. Different tone, obviously. Oh, and now I just sound like a hater that says Holo Taco can never release a blue. You're allowed to release blues. Literally. Minus like 0.1 points. I still really like it, and it's like my favorite one. I can't tell. So this one's gonna get 4.9 flux given out of 5. I didn't have to bleep that. That was FLUX, like magnetic flux. It's on brand. Remember that time that I sat there and tried to teach you Faraday's law?
Yeah.
And Lenz's law?
I don't remember by name, but yeah.
Do you remember them?
No.
Time derivative of the magnetic flux equals the negative EMF induced in a loop.
And when you say it like that, it makes perfect sense.
Okay, but like quick science fact, because magnets are like the coolest thing ever. The universe doesn't like magnetic fields changing. Like there's inertia to magnetic field in space. That's weird. I don't think I explained it well enough because I can't get into the calculus right now. This is a nail polish review video. But like when a magnetic field changes in an area, an induced current goes in the opposite direction that creates an electric field that will then change the magnetic field in the opposite direction in order to keep it as constant as possible. Like, whoa. It's cool.
Magnets are neat.
I think they're neat.
Yeah.
And moving on, we have Lust in Translation. Ooh la la. This is a soft lilac purple linear hollow with a silver magnetic pole. And the very first thing that I thought of is, wow, this looks very similar to the previous pink in this collection. However, that is just my hatred of pink bias showing, as they are distinctly different colors. And I was actually really surprised by the coverage of this one because it was so light, but I thought it was good enough to paint a single coat and magnetize the second one. If I wasn't planning on magnetizing this though, I probably would have done 2 coats. As for the unmagnetized look, it's a very pretty silver on the nail, as I feel like the lilac aspect is pretty lost. Honestly, it looks like an ever so slightly pink silver when it's unmagnetized. In indirect lighting, it's like a super desaturated pink that almost looks like pure silver. Like I can barely see the pink aspect of it, it just looks silver to me.
Editor Nick here. I know I keep saying that this is pink and it's described as lilac, but like, this is pink to me.
However, with the magnet applied, the silver is pulled inwards, and now there's this really pretty pastel lilac purple. It's almost a deeper purple than I expected because of how silver and bright it was on the nail unmagnetized. But I did also notice when it was magnetized, as it looks like there's a slight red shimmer in here, even though it's not in the description of this polish. As for comparisons, I first wanted to put it next to Toe Beans on the left and 50 Shades of Greige on the right. It's kind of crazy how similar these look through my camera. Like, I know there's some slight tonal differences, but these really do feel like 3 of nearly the same polish. As for actual comparisons, I put it next to lilac-y magnetics on the left and silver magnetics on the right, and you can see how this really fits in the center of this lineup. I think the closest unmagnetized is Apocalypse Polish's Train to Busan, as that is a pretty silver polish that has a pink shimmer in it, which you could see when it's magnetized. However, I would still say it gets pulled a little bit more in Cirque's clairvoyant direction, because when the magnet is applied, this really is clearly a lilac polish with a silver magnetic stripe. At first I thought that it was going to be closest to Mooncat's Clair de Lune, because that's also a lilac-y purple with a silver magnetic stripe, but the biggest difference is Clair de Lune is kind of like a creme with a magnetic stripe, as opposed to how this polish is a linear hollow with a magnetic stripe. So overall, this is another one that I don't really care for, once again because the color is just not that interesting to me. I really like how it's a linear hollow with a magnetic, because that means that it's going to be interesting in more than one type of lighting. I will say probably my biggest problem with this polish and 2 polishes ago is that they're both very similar pinks, and it's just a very pink heavy collection overall, which is just not something that I care for. But I think the one redeeming factor that I have for this one is I like that random golden red shimmer that shows up sometimes. But like everything else, I don't really care for. So this polish is gonna get 3.5 times you tell your partner that you want cake for Valentine's Day and then you find them with their pants off on the bed out of 5.
Oh my.
And finishing up the magnetics, we have Playing the Field. This is...
Burp?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, but that was weak. That one person that said that my burp was weak, I still think about that.
At the bus stop.
This is described as a magenta purple shimmer with an aqua teal multi-chrome magnetic pull. And I do want to note that with the bottle shot, the magnetic stripe looks so purple on camera, but it is far more teal through my eyes. On the first coat, I really struggled to place what color I would call this because it has a distinct purple color, but also a distinct blue color. I think what's happening is there's just multiple little pigments that are just fighting for attention on the nail at the same time, making this really interesting unmagnetized look. It also had really good coverage where it looked good on the first coat, but from a more extreme camera angle, it really needed a second coat. That was for you, Casey, who always says that I keep saying extreme nail angle. And you're not wrong, and I'm not going to stop. It's important. You need to know what it looks like from an angle like this, because this is how you're like looking at your nails most of the time. You don't go, no, you're like doing stuff. Extreme nail angle, low angle.
Mm-hmm.
And right away, this one was immediately my favorite because it was the one that I found to be the most interesting. No offense to the other polishes.
Full offense to the other polishes.
We're not keeping that. I just really like this steely blue purple aspect in my spotlight, but in indirect lighting, it's a lot more purple with a deep blue base, and I just don't know how to describe it, and it's just still my favorite. Now with the magnet, I was really surprised by how much of a red blackened maroon the base color turned, as now it's just a lot darker and you can see these red sparkles. It was just really not what I was expecting. The magnetic pigment is a bright blue stripe that also has a secondary purple stripe, which is really interesting and really different. And what I love the most about this magnetized is in some indirect lighting, it can shift to gold. So I like this a lot. As for comparisons, I put it next to other purple multi-chrome magnetic polishes in my collection. Unmagnetized, I think it looks the closest to ILNP's Hypnosis, as they both have that similar steely blue purple base color. I did also grab Off the Grid from Holo Taco, not because it's that similar, but it's another magnetic from Holo Taco that exists within this deep and multicolored space. As for when the magnet is applied, Hypnosis still looks the most similar, but I will say it has a slightly more darker purple base color, and it looks like there's maybe some red sparkles in the background as well. But the magnetic pigments look very similar to each other. So as I said, this one's my favorite one in the collection. This polish feels the least Valentine's out of the others in this collection, which is one of the big reasons why I like it a lot, but also it's just the most interesting because it feels like it's trying to do the most while being magnetic, while the others kind of feel like they're polishes that are magnetic. Giovanni just asked us to name his sourdough starter. I want a pun, but I'm lost.
Bread Goreski.
Her name is Bready White.
But also, this polish I think has the best name out of the rest because it is a clear combination of dating, Valentine's romance, and magnetic field. I think it's so good. So this polish is gonna get 5 electrons that all have the same spin out of 5. That wasn't a joke, I'm just teaching you how magnets work. They spin in aligned domains, which create one giant magnetic field line. Atoms. So here's the whole collection all together. With the exception of Playing the Field, this is a very expected Valentine's collection, which is ultimately why I don't really care for it. Like, I know part of the problem is that I'm biased because I don't really care for magnetic polish because I'm far too lazy to paint it. I also think there's something a little minimalist about the theme of a collection being recent holiday and their magnetic polishes, which kind of gives this a lack of an overall identity, and I think I'm arguably going to forget about this collection when the next one comes in 4 weeks. For just full disclosure, that was a joke about the frequency of Holo Taco releases. I don't actually know when the next one is. However, I do think that this was a really smart collection to come out now because not only does it fit the color palette of Valentine's, some of it can also carry forwards and cover some of the spring pastels that we also see following February. And since Nail Husband works from home and can wiggle his keyboard around, he's gonna paint. And since Nail Husband works from home, he painted these Aura style, or Velvet style. What is it actually called? I think one of the biggest problems about this collection, Velvet style, is because several of these polishes have a very similar magnetic pigment, they don't really look that different from each other when the aura is flashing. That said, Playing the Field is really cool Velvet style. Nail Husband would like to note that he did see some visible nail line even after 3 coats with Pretty Privilege. However, the others got to full opacity just fine. And this is the time to talk about Holo Taco's Holo's new horseshoe magnet. If you've never seen a horseshoe magnet before, this is aligned in such a way that the magnetic field kind of creates a flashing effect on the nail, instead of all condensing down to a single stripe. To make the velvet effect, you paint it with your finger within the center of that horseshoe magnet. But that's where my biggest gripe is with this magnet, because I paint this with the U shape pointing up, and now the word Holo Taco is upside down. So like, am I painting these wrong? Quick update while editing this. I just tried the super magnet upside down, and to my surprise, it still made the velvet effect. Though I will say it's not as strong when I did it U side up. So as of filming this, the super magnet did sell out within the first day. So if you do want to wait to get a Holo Taco branded super magnet, you can, but I would personally not recommend that, because you can find these magnets on Amazon far cheaper. Or just go to a hardware store, or make it yourself by spinning electrons. Remember, I taught you guys magnetic fields, concepts, phenomena. And now we've finished all of the magnetic polishes, and if I could, I would end the video here. However, there's a chunky stuffed topper that I didn't paint yet. I'll do that another day. Bye. Oh, this hand, bye. And we're back several days later. I gave myself a long time to enjoy the other polishes before I covered them with this topper, because I really thought I was gonna hate this. And it's still not my favorite, but like, let's get into it now. So here we have Sweetheart Taco. This is a new chunky glitter topper which features small and mini pink holographic heart-shaped glitters suspended in a clear base.
Suspended?
I mean, that's the correct word I would use.
Yes.
I just elaborated a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this protein Pop-Tart. And since this topper came from this collection, I painted it over each polish. On my thumb, I first did a few swipes of the brush to see how it places the hearts on the nail. Now, it was far better than other chunky glitter toppers, as I only went in to dab some glitters in the bare spots. Now, I was also very intentionally simple with my application on my thumb, because I wanted to show how this would apply for someone who may not have used a chunky glitter topper before. But on my other fingers, I was more intentional and specifically placed the glitters all over the nail. And since this was in a clear base, it was really easy to just place the hearts where you wanted them to go, because there wasn't any buildup of extra pigment. So while my application did take a little bit of placing the glitters, it's not as bad as the other two chunky glitter Holo Taco polishes, where you really need to fish the glitters out of the bottle and then pick them up with a dotting tool to place them. But I also found it really easy to use the brush itself to place the glitters, like on my pinky where I wanted one extra heart to fill this gap, so I just cleared off the brush enough, grabbed one from the bottle, and gently placed it down. As for the overall look, I'm actually very surprised that I don't hate this. Not that I will literally ever turn to pink hearts again, but they applied fairly evenly with minimal manipulation. However, I did have some hearts that are gripping the edge of my nail like Mufasa, creating childhood trauma. But I will also say this doesn't look that good on every color in this collection. It gets pretty lost over Pretty Privilege, as the hearts are essentially the same color as the base, and it can get slightly lost over Flirt Alert, as it's a very similar color when overlapping with the pink magnetic stripe. However, this does look super stunning over polar opposites and playing the field, as there's a lot of contrast. Oh, also, be careful when you take these off, because then you will find little pink hearts everywhere. And I mean literally everywhere. Like, did you see it in that earlier shot where I was showing the bottle? It was stuck underneath my nail. As for comparisons, I put it next to the other chunky glitter toppers from Holo Taco, those being Garden Party Taco and Shooting Star Taco, the banes of my existence. My biggest problem with Garden Party Taco, besides the fact that it looks like it's from Claire's, is the size of the glitters and how infrequent they come out of the bottle and onto the nail. However, for some reason in this swatch, I got 6 glitters, which was like way more than when I swatched this originally. However, Shooting Star Taco performed the same as always, only having 2 glitters on the nail. And that's one of the reasons why I actually like Sweetheart Taco more, because it did the full covered in hearts look that I want from a chunky topper. Not that I ever really want a covered in hearts look. It did what it was supposed to do. So I don't hate this as much as I expected, as it performed way better than the other chunky glitter polishes from Holo Taco, which I think is a combination of the overall smaller glitter size, but also being rounded which is why I think that shooting star got stuck in the brush. However, my biggest issue with this is that it's so niche and really only relevant for Valentine's Day or for those who love a heartsy cutesy look, which is valid, just not me.
Do people wear like heartsy nails outside of like Valentine's Day?
There's probably someone who does. Like, what if your whole aesthetic is just like, ooh, like, then go for it. Oh, but imagine if like someone made like a Lolita dress, but instead of like hearts, it was like actual or like organs.
If Hannibal Lecter was in a Lolita dress?
Yes. Anyways, your turn. Feel my nails. Touch them.
Ooh, this one is really bad. This is the pinky. He did probably not enough top coat on the pinky. Ooh, index finger too. You did not apply your top coat evenly. That's what that tells me. All of them, I would wear a second top coat, but also I would want to peel off base coat because I would want to take it off in 5 seconds.
Which you did immediately.
Yeah. Here's my new nails. Ooh, Cirque colors.
Oh, that would be a great segue to the WOMO, but I gotta do the rating first. This gets 4 melted candy hearts out of 5.
Melted? What kind of candy? Chocolate?
I don't care, it's time for the WOMO. That was our segue.
Oh.
To the WOMO! WOMO, what's on my other hand? Today I'm wearing Grand Entrance by ILNP, topped with Say It Out Loud by Prism Braid. I also wanted to contrast the pink and cutesy Valentine's manicure with something a little grungier, but also still fits the color theme, as Grand Entrance is a gunmetal to red multichrome. But I also wanted it to be even sparklier, so I had to add a sparkly vampire topper to keep it in line with the collection on my other hand. Oh, main hand. This is my other hand.
Oh, how the turns have tabled.
WOMO-O. What's on my other hand's other hand? It's the collection. You just watched that video. So now that you've seen everything, let me know what you think. Are these polishes pulling you in, or are you just feeling a little repulsed?
Magnet repulsed, because magnets
Repel?
repel.
How do magnets work?
Electricity.
Kind of, actually. Gotta watch the Magic School Bus episode then.
No, you don't believe in science in this household.
Stop it. One of my children was trying to convince me that the moon landing was fake the other day, and I'm like, I don't want to have this conversation. I was like, which moon landing? And they're like, the first one. And I'm like, I thought we were done with this. Let's finish. We have 3 lines left. And quick reminder, if you're interested in supporting the channel, you can join as a channel member using the link in the description below. So thank you to my Titan Wranglers, but an extra special shout out to the members of the Mint Silver Spurs Club. Why can I not remember my own words?
It's because you always try to embellish that. Instead of just reading like the line that I wrote, you try to embellish it.
I'm trying to be entertaining. Am I enough for you? Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one.
Scene. Happy Valentine's Day!
Oh, candy hearts! Oh, XOXOXO.
Gossip Girl.
No, what's missing? Oh.